out his own mouth. I'm not worried about the murder. I wouldn't want to pull the trigger.
Now, when I first dropped that Big U update video, I guess I just underestimated the stupidity of urban culture, because I know I'm a small channel and I know they didn't see that video. But in that video, I said anybody with half a brain should stay away from that 75 snitches list, because if you have any affiliation to Big U, it'd be deemed as witness tampering or witness intimidation, which both carry significant time in the California State Prison and won't help Big U's case whatsoever. So I thought we just had to wait till trial. But like I said, I underestimated the stupidity of the urban sections.
Dealing with the situation with Big U, on how many dudes over there from the Rolling 60 to section over there has been compromised. And we're gonna start off with this. We're gonna start off with the first thing we're gonna start off with everybody that's free, everybody got a signature bond, it's compromised. We're gonna stamp that right there. I'm stamping that. And you also have over 50 individuals that gave statements, declarations, and all type of stuff. And it's gonna blow you away when you really find out who these individuals are.
It's crazy when you see people thinking they're outsmarting the police, especially the feds, by replacing words like, instead of snitch, compromised, replacing we with I. We gonna stamp that. Oop, no, I'm gonna stamp that. I just wanna remind my audience, this is the federal government they're trying to outsmart. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, I always heavily advocate letting your lawyer fight for you and staying silent. But in these new times, I guess people want to get the information out there for a public opinion and consumption. I'm not completely sure how releasing information to a YouTuber like me is particularly good for your case. But I guess in Big U's mind, he's thinking maybe he can sway the court of public opinion and tamper with the jury pool. But to me, one of the craziest part about this whole situation is the deeper rooted manipulation going on between Big U and 600. And I mean by Big U faking an apology with Eddie Boy just to use his platform to get his narrative out there. And Eddie Boy is going to accept the apology even though he doesn't want to, because Big U being in jail and fed information for his channel is the best thing that could happen to him right now. I'm trying to tell y'all, these gang politics are very treacherous.
What up with it? Y'all know it's been a minute. I've been busy, but let's get straight to it. Like, share, and subscribe, man. We got some updates with all this Big U shit going on. So it's a few things. You know, he been talking to people that, we know mutually. And one thing is that he said was, he done with the hood, done with the homies. Based on everything he's seeing, the amount of people and people he knew and trusted is telling on him. So he done with the hood.
Big U dropping his flag right now doesn't mean a thing to the US government. We saw Quando Rondo do that in his RICO case, but that was because the Rolling 60s betrayed him as well. But this is different, because I think Big U's gonna use it as an opportunity to start snitching in his own defense. And if Big U drops his flag, I guess he goes back to being a civilian and acting like the civilian rules apply to him. But I don't think that's gonna work. Instead, 600 is gonna come in with some advice that could have worked for almost anybody else. Like if Big U was some low-level intermediate crip, maybe somebody who just got put on, maybe even yourself, 600. But you can't tell the leader of the Rolling 60s.
Like, you should have been done with the hood, bro. Like, I've been saying this, bro. Like, I had nothing against what he was doing for the kids and the youth and the football. You know what I'm saying? The LAPD contract. There's nothing wrong with that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just said, man, I'm done with this. I done gave the system, what do you do, 15, 16, 18 years? I don't know. All this time, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? My kids is thriving. You know what I'm saying? I got a contract with LAPD. You made it, bro. On hood. What no gang banger would have said nothing to Big U. His problem was he tried to play both sides, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. Then, on top of all that, bro, you was harboring rats. All this time, you was harboring rats, bro. And now you see why you don't harbor rats. Because all them buster ass niggas who told on you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So 600 goes into detail about how Big U thinks he's gonna beat the case. Well, at least the murder of Rayshawn Williams. Like I said, I always thought it was best to stay silent and let your lawyer work. But instead, Big U would rather talk over jail-recorded phone calls and have anybody with a YouTube channel get the word out, even an enemy. And of course, 600 is happy to oblige.
Talk about the rest in peace Rayshawn Williams, a football player who was living with Big U, came up missing. So when I was in court with Big U and they was talking about the murder, His lawyer stood up and said, well, what's all this about a murder? There's been no charges of the murder. It's just hearsay. Butler, U.S. attorney, which is like the DA or whatever, for the feds, came to the podium and said, no, we are charging him with the murder of Rayshawn Williams. We're like, ooh, so we get charged with it, right? So my point is, and bring that up, which I always told y'all, Big U is not going to get convicted on that murder as far as what I believe and what I see, the facts on the table, unless they got something that we don't know yet. Based on what I see, as far as the motive go, what's the motive? Because he made a diss song? Where's this diss song at? Because there's been plenty of diss songs with Big U that use his name. You know what I'm saying? And he can say, reference, well, I didn't kill him. He made a diss song and said my name in the song.
Wait, did he really say the last person to make a diss song about Big U didn't die? All I'm gonna say is if you want me to do a deep dive on Nipsey Hussle, let me know. Because everybody doesn't know the story about how Nipsey Hussle made a diss track towards Big U. Big U pulled up out of his mind and tried to force Nipsey to take a DP from the homies. Then some time passes and Nipsey gets killed by another 60 Crip. Now, I don't know. But like I said, if you want me to do a deep dive on Nipsey Hussle, let me know in the comments. But 600 said,
then the murder weapon. Where's the murder weapon at? No weapon. Then they can't place him at the scene of the murder. They have blank spots. They're assuming he was in this vicinity at this time when his phones were off. They couldn't ping his phones to the murder. You know what I'm saying? They can't place him at location. I think he beat the murder. So my point in bringing up this murder, Rayshawn Williams, Big U has said, and I got all the receipts, I won't release them yet because they're waiting on some more stuff from dude. Out his own mouth, I'm not worried about the murder. I wasn't the one to put the trigger. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
where is the murder weapon? My phone was off? They can't prove. Do these sound like the words of a father whose son's best friend was just found murdered? I'm sorry, but if I'm accused of a crime like this, my jail phone calls are gonna sound completely different. I would say things like, how could they think it's me? What makes the police think it's me? Oh my God, how does the family feel? How is my son holding up? I can't believe they're doing this to me. Things like that. But Big U said, where is the murder weapon? On a jail recorded phone call. And mark my words, when they go to trial, they're going to be playing these tapes. I'm so sure that you can timestamp this video right now for future reference because they don't need the murder weapon. They've convicted people with less. Just ask Tory Lanez. And the FBI has an infinite amount of more evidence against Big U than they ever had on Tory Lanez. Big U being the last person seen with Rayshawn Williams alive on surveillance. Just the fact that your phone was pinged before you turned it off a few miles away from Rayshawn Williams' body is enough circumstantial evidence by itself. Now this is why I said Big U dropped his flag. Because he said the most incriminating thing to date by saying, I didn't pull the trigger. And once again, that's not how innocent people talk. But that does set it up for you to say, you were there when it happened, you just had nothing to do with it. Pretty much snitching. But you can't snitch on a jail-recorded phone call. That just gives your co-defendant the heads up. Now, I don't know if the co-defendant in the Rayshawn Williams case is one of the 75 people testifying against Big U, but if he wasn't before, he is now.
Big U saying that he's not worried about that murder charge because he's not the one who pulled the trigger. Now, you can take that for where you want to take it, you know what I'm saying, and analyze it and think about it and assume this, that, and the other, but he's confident in that, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't the one to pull the trigger. Now, the streets have a whole nother definition, you know, whole nother assumption, whole nother story of what may or may not have happened. You know what I'm saying? We go talk to the streets and see what the streets got to say. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just saying. Big U say he ain't do that murder, bro. You know, whether he did it or not, you know what I'm saying? From the information that we got that they're placing on him, I see him beating the murder. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's going to play. But listen, it's coming up. His time's approaching fast. And Big U was trying to go to trial in 2 weeks after he got arrested. The only reason they didn't start trial is because the other 6 people who somehow made it to the streets when they got picked up on the RICO charges, man, they was able to get signature bails and hop on the streets however they did it. You know what I'm saying? Where no one ever knows how you can get picked up on a RICO and be out on the streets with a bail. We don't know, you know what I'm saying? Strange stuff going on all the time. But anyway, them other 6 people said that they didn't want to go to trial that fast. They want to go to trial. They ain't taking no deals, but they don't want to go to trial in May. Big U like, man, he was mad. Like, man, I'm trying to go to trial, get this out the way. I need my paperwork. You know what I mean? I need my Discovery, I want to see, let's take it, let's go to the back. Let's go to the box with it. I ain't do that murder, you know what I'm saying? So they all prolong this thing to May. So it's going to be interesting coming up in court. But yeah, you know, he's been talking to certain people, talking to me. You know, I got a gang of recordings, you know.
I'm sorry. Big U is cooked. I'm not gonna make up this long-winded version to increase minutes on this video, but this ain't the YSL RICO. This ain't any RICO we've seen before. Do I need to remind you that those were state cases? This is the federal government's resources and yields from an investigation since 2011. Big U was already being told on by 75 people. To be honest, you only really need maybe 5 people to give you a full scope of the operation. But 75 people telling on your operation and your co-defendant telling on you in a murder case. What do you think is gonna happen? I keep telling you, Big U's biggest and final mistake is that he keeps forgetting he is the big fish in this case. He can't tell to get out of this one. I just think the saddest part about this case is Big U's son, Dayon Henley's best friend, got killed. And he has to go out there and play his ass off on the field every Sunday, which he has been doing, and grieve in his own way. The family of Rayshawn Williams doesn't get to see acknowledgement of his life. All they hear is, I'm gonna beat this case. But hey, let me know in the comments if you think Big U is gonna beat this case by telling on the one who pulled the trigger on Rayshawn Williams. Or if you're like me and think that telling on everybody is pointless and Big U has breathed his last free breath of fresh air ever again. And if you made it this far, click the left side of your screen to see why Terrence Crawford went from a parade to probation in less than 3 hours. And also, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share to be aware, put me in that algorithm because I need to be there, man. I know there's 10 other streamers out there like me, but fuck that, I look 10. I'm maxed out.